introduce my colleague, Rob Green.
Thank you, Bill. Yes, I am someone who has been through the experience of being indoctrinated into the dogma of nuclear deterrence, and I did this as part of my experience of being in the British Navy for 20 years, from 1962 to 82. I started by flying as a navigator in the back seat of Buccaneer nuclear strike jets, and my pilot and I were given a target in Russia, which was a military airbase on the outskirts of Leningrad. And then I switched to anti-submarine helicopters, where I was given a nuclear depth bomb because the latest Soviet nuclear submarines went too fast for our lightweight torpedoes to catch them. And so I discovered, to my great concern, that if I ever had to drop one of these nuclear depth bombs, it would be a suicide mission, because in a helicopter you cannot escape from the detonation of a nuclear bomb quickly enough, whereas I could in the nuclear strike jet. And that began to make me doubt my leaders for the first time. I then went on to go into naval intelligence in my last job as a commander, and I found myself caught up in the Falklands War, 1982, which was a very disturbing experience because it was a very close-run thing. We lost ships, and there was a prospect of even being defeated. And of course, my Prime Minister had nuclear weapons. And there was the real danger that in the event of impending defeat, Mrs. Thatcher would have been tempted to use nuclear weapons in order to save the situation. And so that made me really think very hard after I left the Navy. And I've now broken out, and I now understand that nuclear deterrence is in fact what I would call a confidence trick. And I'm happy to take questions about that. But I also would like to finish by saying that I am so proud to be sitting beside Bill Kidd, who is representing the Scottish Government and people who have stood up and who know from the front line what it's like to have to host nuclear weapons against their will. And I see this ban treaty as being a very powerful new tool in order to stigmatize nuclear weapons such that my current colleagues who have to operate these appalling terror devices on behalf of the British political leadership will have to think twice about obeying the orders. Thank you.
So I work for our co-presidents, of which Bill